Good morning. Happy Friday. I need my earbuds. Hang on 2 seconds. There we go. Happy Saturday. Sorry, I'm a minute late. The dog was stuck. He's wearing a cone right now, so he was stuck on something and I had to go help him. So as you hop on, say hello. I'll just get you up here so I can see comments. Let me know what you're doing this Saturday. There we go. Oops, I got some volume going on. Technology, I tell you, friends, eh? So how's everyone? Cheers to Bailey's and Tea Saturday. I'm all nice and pretty. I'm doing some video shooting today, so I thought I'd better make myself presentable. So as you hop on, say hello and tell me where you're coming from. If you are new to me, I'm Shanna. I'm the Carrot Tops Creative Co-designer, and on Saturdays we make a card together. If you have the supplies, if not, you can just watch and you can adapt to items that you have in your craft room. Or you can just sort of follow my layout and create along with me with what you do have in your craft stash. So that's kind of the idea, to get you using those products that you have and crafting on a Saturday morning, which is always fun. I love to do it. Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Valerie. I'm glad to see you're out of bed. Did you set an alarm this morning, Valerie? All right, friends, we're going to flip you around and we are going to get started with a few little housekeeping items, and then we'll jump right into making our card. All right, here we go. So I've still there. Sorry, I hit when I slap it into my sand, I hit my emergency button. You know, on the side of an iPhone, it has those buttons. You had a horrible sleep. Oh no. Were you doing too many rides on your bike, or is it from your gardening you did yesterday? I remember gardening for a living when I did that as my career. Yeah, it's pretty hard on the body. Robaxaset is my trick. I don't know if that works for you, but you might want to try it. Good morning, Lynn. So I've got a little bucket of chocolate here for you this morning because I've already had a sip of my tea and the Baileys. And so the last chance list came out this week. And so what's that, you ask, if you're not sure? It is the products that are going to be leaving us in May. So a lot of them are out of the annual catalog because that one is going to retire and we're going to get a new one. And I got mine yesterday, and I'll show you the cover because that's all I'm allowed to show. Here it is, friends. Is it not gorgeous? Make sure the light doesn't catch it there. It's amazing. You're going to love everything that's in here. And I've gone through it about 4 times now, and online. We got the PDF version on Wednesday as well. And then my other one showed up the next day. So I've been through it about 4 times. At first, I was like, I don't know. And then as I started looking more and more, my list started to grow. So I'm sure the same thing will happen to you. But if there's anything on the last chance list, which if you haven't gotten it, let me know and I'll slip it into your email and you can have a look. There's so many discounted items from 20% to 50%. So lots of stuff leaving us, which is always sad, but it's making way for new stuff. So it has to happen, right? So if you are a demonstrator and have gotten the catalog or had a look, let me know which favorite is, because I'm sure everyone has a favorite by now. And as we can order next week, you'll start to see some of that new product in my lives on Saturday and on my page. So if you're not following, go ahead and pop over there and give me a follow, and you'll be kept up to date with what's going on. So let's jump into the card we're going to create today. So this is it here. I'll hold it up closer so you can see. I created with blue and yellow because our CEO Sarah is having an event on April the 1st at 2 p.m. Mountain Time on her Facebook page. So it's called A Sarah Thing, and it's called Making a Difference for Ukraine. And they're going to donate proceeds to Lifting Hands International. And so I created a few cards today using the blue and white theme, the sunflowers. And so I jumped over to stamp sets of Jar of Flowers and Celebrating Sunflowers, which are two of my favorites. And they are carrying forward, which is awesome. I love it. This one's been around for a while, the Jar of Flowers, and so is the Celebrating Sunflowers, actually. So it's just a really cool set, and I love it. And it's one of the what do they call them? You can flip it over and you get these reverse, so the grayed out images. If you flip over the stamp, you kind of get that solid image stamp. I forget what it's called. I don't think it tells me on the package. No, reversible, I think maybe. Yeah, reversibles. And the Mountain Air one is similar to that as well. And then there'll be a new one coming out in the catalog. And Celebrating Sunflowers. Sunflowers is one of my favorite flowers. So these two I love. So we're going to create with that. But I had a couple other ones that I wanted to show you real quick. And then there'll be a couple at the end, of course. This is using the Abstract Beauty card pack. So this is the envelope and the cards that come together. And I've just simply cut out a sunflower and used the sentiment from here together. And then some of the little elements out of the Ephemera Pack. So I've made a couple in blue and yellow, and just simple cards. All right, so there's a couple ideas for you. So let's jump into this one. Now I've done a lot of it ahead of time because dry time with the watercolor wash effect, but I'll kind of talk you through it and it'll be easy to do. So I told you that you needed your thick cardstock base, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, so right down the middle. You need a piece of fluid watercolor paper that's 4 by 5 1/4. And you need the brick and mortar embossing folder. So you'll see mine's already done. I'll flip it over in a second because I've done the water wash on the other side. But you'll need that brick and mortar embossing folder. You need the Jar of Flowers stamp set, obviously. And you are going to need a bunch of ink colors. So I've colored my flowers already, but I've used Old Olive for the little sprigs there, the sort of dandelion looking sprigs. I've used Pool Party in the back side of my jar, which I have put Crystal Effects on the top of it. Crystal Effects is retiring, so if you love it, stock up on it. So it's kind of that clear, glossy stuff with a little bit of shimmer in it. Similar to Winky, but it's got a lot more shimmer to it. Bumblebee is what I've used on the sunflowers. Cinnamon Cider is the center. Balmy Blue is these little tiny flowers over here. Pacific Point is these sort of larger flowers. And that is our flower ink combination. You'll need Wink of Stella because I've put it on the all of the flowers. You'll need your linen thread, obviously. I've tied a couple bows there with the linen thread and the bumblebee gingham. I've used Artistry and Bloom sequins, so that's what those little blue ones are there. I've used my aqua painter, obviously, to create my background. And then I've used the Misty Moonlight marker to do some splatters, which I will show you how to do that if I haven't shown you already. And then the Crystal Effects, obviously. And then you'll need your inside piece that I've stamped the sunflowers on in the 5 1/4 by 4 measurement. And then you'll need a sentiment of some sort. All right, so let's get started. So the background was created before I embossed it. I took my water painter and I did a wash with my brush. So I just washed it with plain water all the way along. And then I picked up my Misty Moonlight ink. And then I came back in and I watercolored that Misty Moonlight ink on the background. Just randomly dipped it in my ink and then spread it around. And that water that I put on ahead of time helped spread the ink around and make it look as cool as that turned out. Then I grabbed, when it dries, you got to set it aside, I grabbed my Misty Moonlight marker, and just with the cap, sorry, my dogs are freaking out. The other one's leaving the room. Okay, the other one's upstairs barking in the window. So just with the tip of your marker, and you want to be careful because you don't want to wreck the tips of your markers, but you're just going to flick off the lid onto the front of the card. So just like that, and we've added a little bit of splatter to it. All right, so that's our card front, and then once it's dry, obviously you're going to do those splatters. Then you're going to run it through your cut and emboss machine with the brick and mortar embossing folder, and you'll get that textured background. So then you'll go ahead in Memento Black, stamp your jar and your sunflowers. You'll color them in the color combination that I told you. And then I just came in with my Wink Stella, and I just highlighted the sunflowers, this little sprig of whatever, I don't know what it's called, just to give those flowers a little extra pop. All right, and then obviously on my jar, I've gone ahead and colored the stems in the old olive, and I've done just a water wash of the background in the pool party. And then I've put my crystal effects over top and let that dry, because it does take overnight usually to dry. And this card is pretty simple and easy to put together. So we're just going to attach our our front layer to our card base. So what's everybody doing this Saturday? Are we sitting around having our coffee and thinking about what we're going to do today? We had a dump of snow last night. Welcome spring to us. It's getting ridiculous with this snow, and we're supposed to have more today. Fun, fun. Hopefully it's not snowing where you are, but it might be soon. So we'll attach some dimensionals to the back of both of these. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put our jar down. And I'm kind of just going to stage my flowers in there so that I get the right height for where I'm going to place my jar. So I always do some staging ahead of time. It just helps you get things where you want them, and they're not hanging off your card base or anything like that, because obviously that makes it hard to put in the envelope. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put the flowers, and I'm just going to kind of overlap them on that first line of the jars, and then I'll have room to add my ribbons and whatnots after. So that's it on the front. And we'll grab some glue dots, and we'll put a glue dot on the back of our Bumblebee Gingham ribbon. And I should mention, I did cut that ribbon in half, so it's kind of got some frayed edges to it. As you play with it more, they come loose, and it's just going to give you extra life to, or length, I guess, to that roll of ribbon that you have. You can extend it a bit by cutting the ribbon in half. Some of the bigger ones I do that with because they're just too big. And I think I've mentioned it on a live before. One of the artisan design team members, one of the Tammys, I think it is. I have to look it up. She does it quite a bit, and I just love the look. So I'm going to kind of offset this linen thread bow. There we go. So I've just layered those right on top of each other. My linen one is not sitting as nicely as I would like, but we can fiddle around with that after. So those are just layered up. I've trimmed off the edges. I'm just going to trim this one because it doesn't look like it got angled properly. If they're too long, just trim off your tails. All right. So we've got that done, and then I've used the sentiment out of the Celebrate Sunflowers. So on the first one, I used Know That You Are Loved. Obviously, that's, sending support to Ukraine is why I created that card. But I'm going to use Thanks a Bunch for this one. So I've just stamped that in Versamark on some black cardstock, and then I've embossed it with white embossing powder. And just hand trimmed that out to get the look that I wanted. So we'll just put a couple small dimensionals on the back of that one. This card is fairly easy. It's just a little bit of prep work with the dry time in your background and your crystal effects. That one might actually be in the wrong place. There we go. We'll just peel that one off. So I'm just going to kind of overset this one over the jar base. Sorry, I got a dog making his way in here again. The one with the cone, so he makes a little more noise than the other one does. If you can hear him crashing around under my desk. Get out of there, bud. He's trying to get into my recycle bin. Oh, they're just being terrible dogs today. Sit down, buddy. So he's okay if anyone asks, because I think they've been to the vet recently, so they have issues. He licks his paw until he's like created a sore, and then he's hobbling around, but he still wants to lick his paw. So that's why he's wearing his cone, is because that's what he's done. He's done it to himself. So we're just going to attach that inside, and I'm just going to leave them in a black stamped way. If you wanted to color them in as well, color them before you stick it down, and then if you color them with your blends, it will be hidden behind. It won't run through your cardstock base. So that is the card. Nice and easy. We'll add some sequins to it. So is anybody creating along with me today, or going to watch and then create it later? Do you have this stamp set? Do you love this stamp set? Or are you going to add it to your collection? I'm not sure if it's on the sale list or not, because it is carrying over. And it comes with those dies that cut out just that sunflower die cut. So it's gorgeous. I love it. I love sunflowers, so pretty biased. All right, so I've added a bunch of these little small ones and one big one. These will not carry over, these artistry and blooms. I think they're on sale. I might have to stock up because I like those. So that is the card. Pretty, eh? What do you think? Tell me in the comments what you think. And then I've got a couple other ones here to show you, and then a whole bunch more to show you on Wednesday when I load all the extra cards. So it's going to be a quick one because I've got to jump off and go to work. So here's another one in the blue and the yellow. So I've done the tulips instead. So it's got some nice extra flowers here. It's kind of got some wildflowers, the tulips, some roses, and then the sunflowers is what comes in this set. So it's kind of gives you a variety of a friend who might like a certain type of flower. You can definitely customize to what you need. And then this one's also done in the blue and the yellow for the Ukraine. And so I put sending you this paper hug on here because I always say paper hugs to you all, right? So, and then I've used that ornate flowers embossing folder and just cut out a tag and use some stitch borders backgrounds, and yeah, just colored those with my blend. So nothing fancy, no extras, really just a bow, and that's your embellishment. So that's a nice pretty one as well. I forgot to say this one is not my design. It's actually Antonio Bay, I think is how you say her name. The paperpavilion.com is her website. That's where I've got this card from. And I don't think, nope, that one wasn't inspired by anybody. And then I did this one with the sunflowers die stamp set. And this is from, what was it called? Strong of Heart. It was the Making the Difference stamp set in the last mini. Stronger Than You Know is the sentiment I use there. And this is just a die cut of that metallic designer paper, and then just out of the die set it has these little sprigs in it as well. I just cut those out of vellum and just layered those in behind, and used a little bit of Pool Party. I maybe should have used Misty Moonlight to make it more so the blue, and then I kind of used the gold as my yellow, but just brushed on some Pool Party there and just cut this out with my rectangle stitched dies and a little bit of gold paper there in behind my sentiment. So nice and simple, but sort of carrying the theme of the blue and the yellow. So again, that event, which I think everyone can take part in because Sarah's page is public. So it's called A Sarah Thing. So Facebook.com, A Sarah Thing. We will find her. She's our CEO of Stamping Up. And April 1st at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And it's called Making a Difference for Ukraine. So it's just a crafting event that you can tune into. She's going to make some cards and do some demonstrations and stuff like that. And you can do that along with her. And then, like many of us, we are selling cards that we've created in the blue and the yellow and then donating to a local charity or something like that. So that's basically what these cards will do as well, is be part of that collection for donations for Ukraine. So any questions from anybody? That all made sense to you? You don't have that set, Valerie. Is it one that you like, or gonna add it to your collection? Thanks, Rhonda. Yes, it is a perfect card for supporting it. Hers was done in purples, and then I think she used the paper pavilion, I think she used the tulips on, no, it was the roses on her. She did it in like purples, and so I just altered it and changed it to the blue and the yellow. But I really like how it turned out. I liked her layout and her design. And then these ones, the card bases are already in blue and yellow, so you get a couple of each, and then there's some other ones in there. But I just thought simple, just put the sunflower on there, and just some quick sentiments from the here together, and which is obviously nice, appropriate, styled sentiments, and they just work perfect. So if you have any questions, I will not be around today in the studio, but I answer calls and whatnot on the road. So the last chance list, if you want it, get it, because if you wait, it's going to be gone. There's already things sold out. I haven't looked today, but if you go to my store, the shop with me there, you'll find, if it says that it is unavailable, or I forget what the notice that pops up is, but it basically won't let you order it. It'll be sold out is basically what it's referring to when it doesn't pop up when you enter the item code number. So if you've seen something on there, stock up. I already have. I've got an order going in momentarily. So if you want to add to it, you can definitely do that as well. What's your question, Rhonda? Do you also do the outside envelope flap? These are those cards from the, let me grab it and I'll show you, and you'll know what I'm talking about, Rhonda. The Abstract Beauty, here it is. So this is in the mini catalog with that weird size paper that we have, that 4x6. So the paper's in there. It's got some nice blue and yellows in there too. It's got a little ephemera pack that goes with it that's got some elements. And then there's a card pack. So it's same as our like Memories and More sort of card packs and envelopes. So it's got just the bases are already done. There's pink, black, a light blue, just some solids. It's a great little pack. So the note card's already done. They're already scored and everything for you. And then it's got some matching envelopes. So I just paired up those envelopes with the black and the white because nothing really said blue and yellow to me. That one could have worked, obviously, with the blue one, maybe. So they're already done. And if you don't want to use the envelopes and want to use our regular ones, the paper goes all the way inside. So you could cut up this envelope and use this as designer series paper as well. Like every single one of them goes all the way to the bottom. So it's another use of the envelopes. If you don't want to use these ones and use our standard ones instead, you've got sort of double the the paper and double the card bases. And you could also, if you wanted to cut these off, cut them down, die cut them, whatever you want. So that is the Abstract Beauty cards and envelopes. The Ephemera Pack is called the Abstract Beauty Ephemera Pack. So it's got just some die cuts. There's some vellum ones and some other ones, little elements that you can add. And then the 4x6 Designer Series paper comes in just a variety of different crazy patterns and with that gold. So there's lots of paper here. I love this striped one. I won't show you all of them because we're going to wrap things up here so I can head out the door. But there's some yellow little checks, some black and white, some checkered blue. There's some nice papers in here. Like I know it's a weird size pack than we normally have, but there's some nice paper in here. And it's perfect because it's the 4x6. So if you want to just cut it down a little bit, you can make your card front, and then you can use that little strip to put on the inside, and then you've used up that whole piece. So that is the Abstract Beauty 4x6 Specialty Designer Series paper. I'm not sure what page that's on in the mini, but it's in the mini. So that's where they came from. Same as we have all those card packs. I think there's a hand-penned one in the annual catalog right now that has a card and envelope pack as well. And then there'll be some new ones coming. So that's where those came from, Rhonda. Yeah, so Abstract Beauty. And it comes with the beautiful, oh, I can't remember what that's called. I have the beautiful shapes. So the little hexagon shapes, it comes with that die set. And then there's a stamp set that goes with that pack, that suite as well. So yeah, go back to the mini and have a little look for that. It's sort of near the middle. But yeah, that's all I've got, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. Next week I will be here. And the week after, which I'll remind you, on the 9th, I'm on tour during when I normally do this live, so I will not be live that day for sure. My class got canceled or rescheduled or whatever because of COVID issues today. So that's why I surprise you, and here I am. So next week we are going to be delving in because it is coming. It's getting pretty close and we got to get things done, but it'll be April the 2nd. So we're going to do some Easter treats next week. So tune in. I have some goodies to show you and created, and I can't wait. So let's get our Easter on next week and get ready and get things made up for entertaining for that. So everyone, have a wonderful Saturday. Paper hugs to you all, and I will see you next week at 10:30 my time, mountain time. All right, take care. I'm going to go shovel snow and head off to work. Bye everyone. Paper hugs.